Hey guys, how's it going today? I just really wanted to hop on and connect with you all, and I really just wanted to free flow about what comes through. And so much of what's been coming through for me lately has been judgment and really transforming my judgments into compassion, understanding, and seeing the bigger picture at work. And instead of having my judgments of others, life, anything, what you read in the news, myself most importantly, right? Because we judge others how we judge ourselves. If we if we stop judging ourselves, we'll stop judging others so negatively. So really what's been happening is I've been noticing how instead of when I see something happening around me that isn't in alignment with who I am, instead of negatively coming to a judgment of that's wrong, less than, silly, nonsense, all these judgments the ego likes to say, likes to project so that the ego can enhance its self-image and keep itself alive essentially in your consciousness. So, and that's why judgment is such a crucial thing on the awakening path, because when we start holding a space of non-judgment, we start allowing the space for the ego to dissolve. And I won't say we're never going to have an ego, because of course we need an ego to function in this reality. But the ego in this space that it's dissolved in, it dissolves and repurposes. It becomes a servant for your higher self, for the divine will, rather than this this ego that is just trying to control everything and is so afraid and is just a survival machine. And so it's important to really come to the space of non-judgment so that we can start repurposing the ego. And the biggest thing that I've been noticing is just seeing people doing things that are not in alignment with even what I would perceive who they are, right? It's more of an acceptance of always knowing like they're doing the best that they possibly can with the level of awareness that they have. And there's no enemies. There are just people who are really kind of floundering and helpless to their own unconsciousness, and they're just in their own programming and thinking about going through a Kundalini awakening, how much of this old family trauma and all this lineages of pain and fear and programming come up. Just seeing people around you and knowing like this isn't their truth. This is just the programming speaking, the programming acting. And they are in a sense just being run by these programs. So you start really looking on people with a sense of compassion and love. And this happens as you start to see all of your mistakes and your misguided and misaligned actions. They're just coming from programming too, and from conditioning and like lifetimes and generations of fear, right? And noticing in yourself when fear and anxiety and anger and these lower emotions come up, seeing that, oh, this isn't the truth, this isn't source, because source and the truth is pure love. So if it's fear, if it's a lower emotion, it's just a program. If your heart is closed and you're feeling judgmental towards others in any way, it's because there's a program that's keeping your heart closed. And when we are able to see through the program and see it for what it is, that it's not true, then we can really start to work through them and let go of these programs, and then our heart starts to open. And then we can hold the space of non-judgment first and foremost for ourselves. And when we're in non-judgment, to love ourselves, we first have to be able to not always be judging ourselves. It's so much easier to find that innate love that's within all of us when we're holding a space of non-judgment for ourselves and others. And this is something that I've been experiencing recently, is just this shift from, oh, that bothers me that this person does that, or why doesn't this person do more with their life? Why aren't they living in alignment? Don't they want something more than what they're doing? All these nonsense thoughts as like, and those thoughts just come from our own feelings of inadequacy, that we're not doing the right thing, right? So over time, I've noticed that those opinions, I'm not really holding those anymore towards other people. And I had been always a very judgmental person my whole life, like really obsessed with being right and arguing and the intellect and oh my gosh. Just like I would find myself having arguments with people that weren't even there, just arguments in my head. Like I was so fixated on arguments. But over time, as we awaken, as we open our heart, as we come into more awareness, as we recognize ourselves as something more vast and more infinite and eternal than just this mind and this body, we start to hold a space of compassion for ourselves and for others. So when we see stuff that bothers us, that is just like, why would someone do that? It doesn't really bother us anymore, and we start to understand why. And we start to understand that they're just trying to, like ourselves, not feel pain, they're trying to find a way to stop hurting. And this can take all kinds of forms that are not really helpful for that, and that are very temporary, and that cause more dissatisfaction. And we might know that, but we also have to know that other souls came here to have their own experience and their own journey, just like we have our own journey. And a journey of conscious awakening is beautiful and it's a gift, but it's also not any better than a journey of a lifetime of pain and suffering and unconsciousness. And, always creating more problems for yourself and living inauthentically. Like literally that life is just as valuable, because all experience is valid. All experience is so meaningful. Even if someone isn't conscious of the meaning of in their life, and it looks to us like they're just giving it away, they're not. Their soul is still having an experience of growth, albeit a lot differently than we would prefer. It's all growth. And who are we to say what growth path, how to live, what decisions, what actions? Who are we to decide what is better and what is worse? All we can do is open our hearts and live our truth and show the world our choice and how we choose to embody this frequency of light and love. And that's all we have to do. We don't have to go around. You can't save anybody. That's something too on this path. We get like this savior complex. I haven't had it as bad because I've had a lot of really good mentors who have really kept everything in check, and that's been wonderful. But at times and it's not a savior complex from like it is ego, but it doesn't come from a bad place. It's just like we just want to we just want to shake everyone and be like, listen here, just let me teach you, let me show you. If you only knew what I knew, right? But the truth is, and I learned this from a teaching from Matt Kahn. I'm going to end it here. It's a very beautiful way to end it. Someone asked Matt Kahn, and if you haven't checked out his YouTube, really do it. It's Matt Kahn for Love, I think, is his YouTube channel. Amazing. Someone asked Matt Kahn, what are the 2 things you live by? And he said, the first thing is, I'm the only one in the world that has to be awake. And the second one is, the world is as awake. Okay, I'm going to leave that in as a blooper. The second one is, the world is as awake as you are. So I'm the only one that has to be awake. You are the only one that has to be awake in the entire world, in your family, in your community, in where you work. And the universe, the world, is as awake as you are. So that's it. Those are the two beautiful nuggets that I'm going to leave you with. And I want you to really start looking at how you're judging and see when you enter judgment, see how that reflects back onto how you feel about yourself, and see if you can start holding a space of non-judgment for yourself and others, and watch and feel as that space of non-judgment transforms into compassion and love and a higher vibration. And when we hold non-judgment for long enough, we naturally start to emanate a higher vibration of love and acceptance. And that is the catalyst. That is the most impactful thing we can do for anybody, beyond anything we could say, any type of spiritual concept we could share with them. You know, beyond anything else, the number one thing we can do is just emanate an energy field of acceptance and love, and to be that example of how to embody light and love on this earth. And to embody light and love, it's a prerequisite, it's required that we hold no judgment. I hope that you guys enjoyed my little free flow video there. Let me know if you like this style of a video. Most of my videos are impromptu, but this one really was. Anyways, I love connecting with you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing and helping this channel grow. It really feels wonderful. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Namaste.